Hey guys, welcome back to another video of my sort of day in the life as an entrepreneur. This is me taking you through the process of me testing TikTok ads. And this is going to be a playlist. So if you haven't yet seen the video before, go ahead, click on the playlist and you can see the video before. It basically takes you through my product testing strategy on TikTok. This is continuing straight off. I've just finished filming that and I'm finishing this next one now. So if you haven't watched that video, brief rundown, this is the product that I'm testing, $3.29 cost per purchase. So what did I do from there? Well, the next thing is obviously trying to see if we can scale this product. So this is the next step. Let me just move myself up here. One other thing, a quick note. These campaigns here, ignore these. These are me testing to try and get spending on the account. So if your account isn't spending, set up a traffic and add to cart campaign, let it spend $3-4, and then you'll see things start to work out, start to spend. So the next thing is I tested a glitch test. So this doesn't work anymore, so it doesn't matter to anyone who's interested, but I'll take you through the results anyway. I'm not going to look at the ad group level. If you want to know, I'll take you through it. So this is one campaign. This is, and what I've done is I've set up a limit on this campaign. So you can set up daily limits. I set it to $50 per day. And I'll explain why it's $140 now. What I did then is I set up multiple ad sets within this one campaign. Those ad sets were set to like 2,000 a day or something. They weren't going to spend that, but they were set to 2,000 a day, the same winning ads from my previous testing phase, and I had about 30 different ad groups. So 30 times by 2,000 a day, so about 60,000 a day is what the total budget was. Which is obviously ludicrous, and it would never have spent that because I was looking at it while it was happening, and I'd set the limit to $50 per day, which is the minimum. And at this point, I also didn't have it on automatic payments. I had putting balance into the account. So there was no way it would spend over $50 because there was only $50 in the account. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're not experienced or you're a newbie. It's too much of a risk. Now, let's look at the results. So first things first, 9 cents cost per click. 13 cents cost per add to cart, 30 cents cost per checkout, and 15 cents cost per purchase. So this worked very, very well. What it did is it gave the pixel an awful lot of traffic, 1,400 clicks to the website. We had 400 checkouts on the website and only 8 people purchased. And this is a free plus shipping offer for anyone who didn't watch the last video. So $15 per purchase is good. It's not ideal. I want it to be less, but it's good to get started. So from here, what happened was some of those ad sets were spending and some of those were making purchases. I also set up a load of automated rules. If you don't know how to do that, just come to automated rules and click create a new rule. What I did is I worked out the metrics in my head. I knew that I wanted to get total checkout costs less than 50 cents or less than 80 cents, I think it was, from my previous test. So I set up did a bit of maths, and I basically said, look, if I'm not getting a cost per purchase less than $15 or less than $10 per ad set, just cut that ad set, just turn it off. Same goes for the ads. If I'm not getting cost per click less than 10 cents or less than 15 cents, turn it off. And if I'm not getting a cost per purchase of less than, I think I put it at like $5 to $10 on the ad level, turn off that ad. So that meant all of the time, every 30 minutes, it was just turning off ads and I didn't have to do any optimizing myself. And that's why I managed to get $15 per purchase. It means you can have a very sort of fine-tooth comb and you can make sure you're not overspending where you shouldn't be, and the purchases that are coming in profitably. If you look at the actual ad groups within this, and this is obviously in the pet niche, by the way. If you look at the audiences within this, you can see here some of these ad sets were getting very good cost per purchases: $3, $10, $4, $6, and again $3.70. So these were all very profitable. Now the reason the whole campaign was less profitable was because there were all of these other ad sets which weren't profitable. Some of them spent $5, $10 but didn't make a sale. So the benefit of this is sometimes when you launch ads, and I can go through this in more detail in another video, but imagine there's a big pocket of your audience, people who are interested in pets, okay? And in that audience, there's people who are going to buy and people who aren't going to buy. Every time you launch an ad, it places your ad to a different pocket of that audience. And if in that pocket no one is interested in buying, you're not going to make any sales. You're just going to spend to reach the audience and no one's going to buy. Other pockets have higher conversion rates and will give you a cheaper cost per purchase. So for example, if you look here, we're getting 2 conversions. We've only had 16 add to carts. That's significantly better than getting 2 conversions with 80 add to carts. 80 checkouts and 16 checkouts. So that's sort of why I did this test. And this is basically just to see, okay, if I do it enough times, am I going to get ad groups which are making good purchases at good profits? Yes, okay, so now I verified the concept, I know it works. All I need to do is work out how to scale this now. And obviously, I can't do this every single time because you're not going to remain profitable. You're going to just basically break even / lose money because you may have more ad groups which aren't making sales than ad groups which are making sales. Also, the other thing to note with TikTok is this isn't like Facebook where you can have 30 different audiences running at the same time at different budgets, all to the same audience, because on TikTok, there's not enough real estate to place their ads and you're going to see spending issues. And I sort of run into that next, and I'll go through that in the next video if I don't get time today. So you can see here that I'm getting $3, $6 per purchase. And at this point, I think I'm doing about a 50% profit margin, which is very good. I'm making a good amount of money. I think I made about $50 or something profit, something like that, $100 profit. And what I did to keep spend going, as I saw purchases come in, I then increased that, basically that cap that I set that I showed you earlier, that was at $50 to $60. I let it spend a bit more. Still made purchases, increased it, until eventually I set it to 140. By this point, I think a lot of the ads were turned off by the rules, and I wanted to see how far I could push it. And a lot of the ads then weren't making sales, and I started to lose money on some of the ads. So, in hindsight, if I'd left it around $60, $70, I would have made more profit, and my margins would have stayed higher. But I wanted to give the pixel a bit more data and just see how far I could push it. And that leads me to roughly where I am now. So where I'm at the moment, you can see there's 3 campaigns running. I've got my manual bidding, I've got my audience test, and I've got my retargeting. So just to take you through it, this is a retargeting audience. This is retargeting video viewers. TikTok, for some reason, has a weird limit on when you can actually retarget video website views. You have to have a lot more than I thought. For some reason, it's not building the audiences very well. So I think that's more of a tracking issue with TikTok than anything else. So you can see here 1.89 frequency. So what I'm doing is I'm retargeting anybody who's watched my videos, 25% of them, to come back and buy. At the moment, I've had, I think, 2 failed payments from this campaign. So in theory, it will work. It's just trying to get it up enough until it does start to actually work profitably. And I may turn this off soon if it doesn't work. I'll test some new audiences for retargeting. I wouldn't recommend starting retargeting until you're making $50, $100 profit per day. Just because if it doesn't work, it's a waste of money, and you're not going to pull out, the equivalent of that anyway. The next thing is, which you're probably all interested in, is my manual bidding test. So if I take you into the ad group, actually no, I'll take you through the campaign level first. So I've spent $247 on this campaign, 5 cents cost per click, 7 cents cost per add to cart, 17 cents cost per checkout, and take this number with a grain of salt, $35 per complete payment. This number is completely incorrect. The reason for it is I accidentally deleted the tracking pixel. So if we look at, I'll take a specific day, for example, I think it was the 23rd for this campaign. Okay, again, not particularly accurate. $25 per purchase, but whatever. So what's happening here is I'm bidding on the audience that was working before, and I'm giving it a cost cap, I think, of around $10 to $15 cost cap. And my mistake here was using the same strategy as what I used in this campaign, was basically taking 20, 30 different ad sets that are high budget, so $2,000, $3,000 a day. I set the limit of this campaign to $50 per day, and the cost cap on each of them to about $12 per day. Sorry, $12 bid. So even with a bid that low, I'm not going to spend the $2,000 per day anyway on the ad groups. But what it does mean is, as a proportion of my total spend, that amount of spend that will actually go out will be more than if I were to have it at $100 per day. So that's why I had $2,000 per day, but a very, very low cost cap. So I'm basically forcing TikTok to give me spend. So I'm actually spending, probably about $50, $60 per day out of the $2,000 that's actually, in theory, if the bid was high enough, I would actually spend. And then if we come into the ad group and we look at some of the ad performance, this is the error that I made, and I wouldn't recommend you do this. So the theory was, again, out of all of these ad groups, some of them would make sales, some of them wouldn't. I'd keep the ones that weren't making sales, turn off the ones that weren't, and then start to make profit. I'll explain why that doesn't work in a minute. So most of my sales came from this one ad group here, and the rest of them didn't perform, turned them all off. So I was actually losing money. So that's the $25 cost per purchase, when actually it was around $12, $13. I think it was maybe a bit less because I may have made a couple that didn't track. So we'll say $12, $13 cost per purchase, which puts me at about a 30% margin. So that's pretty decent still. So the error was that I spent on a lot of audiences, a lot of ad groups which weren't working. And this is what I said earlier, when you can't spend on multiple duplicates of the same audience because it just won't work. And this is kind of testament to that it doesn't really work at scale. So for future, if I were to do this again, I know the audience works, I know the ads work, I know the product works. I would just create one ad set, 2,000 a day, cost cap at around $6 to $12, whatever it was I'm testing at the time. I would put it in a campaign and limit the campaign. I cannot stress this enough. Limit it to $50 per day, so you don't spend 2,000. Again, don't try this if you don't know what you're doing or you're new and you don't have money to burn. Anyway, so that works. So then the issue that I'm now seeing is the ads aren't spending. So that kind of brings us up to current day. And what I'll do is I'll continue filming my process, what I test, all of those things, and I'll give you some information as and when it comes through. So the overall plan with this account is to continue testing. It's to find ad groups and audiences and strategies which make me profit every single day, and means that I can scale. With TikTok ads, realistically, I think from this day, I spent $150. I think I made around $300 to $400 in revenue and about $110 in profit if you want the actual numbers. Let's think about it. 30% margin, about $100 profit, about $300 something dollars in revenue. So about a 2x ROAS. So even though I screwed it up, I still came out pretty quids in at the end. So those are the numbers for you. That's the strategy that I'm currently running. Obviously, if you've got any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer them either in a video or in whatever, send you a reply. And if you want any more videos going into more detail about this, do let me know and I'll film another video. I'll probably film another video after this, just taking you through a bit more detailed strategy of TikTok ads. And like I say, if you want to follow along on this journey on how things are performing, do like and subscribe, and I'd love to see you around the channel a bit more. It'd be great. And I'll obviously share everything that I do with TikTok ads so you guys can follow along and test your own products and test out in a way that means you're not going to lose money. And with any luck, you'll start to make some profit with TikTok ads as well. So that's it from me today. Like I say, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.